This is Red Pole Q with another episode of the Asia Dating Podcast. And with me, I have our regular guests,
McConnell.
And in Shanghai, we have
Kane.
And today we have a very special guest, maybe one of the favorite, most requested guests back with us. She's going to be talking about her new lifestyle. So let's give a hand for Vonny Let.
It's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, glad to have you back.
So many people listen to that podcast of me on your show.
Yeah.
Like random Tinder guys, everyone.
Wow, I had no idea we had such a reach around going.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'd have been Googling my name or something.
Hold on. So, what was your most memorable listen to the show, talk to you experience?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're probably saying that you get more people contacting you about the show than we get contacting us about the show.
Not really surprising, right? Bunch of horny guys.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk to us.
Right. I mean, they should want to talk to us.
Yeah.
Because, we get access to the horny chicks, but they just want to go straight to the source, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I think my husband listened to it.
Oh, is that how you met him?
No. But he was like, oh, you do like all those things that you said on the podcast.
Okay, well then, so what you're saying is that it was a great advertisement?
I guess. I think so. I mean, I like it. I like being able to talk about this stuff. I feel like sex shouldn't be taboo. And
I agree with that.
Yeah,
it's certainly not taboo in our house.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, I guess it sort of depends who you're doing it with. So it's not sex that's taboo. It's some of the people who you do it with that are taboo.
Oh my God. Speaking of which, I just heard the craziest story. This guy I know, he was sleeping with 2 women and then
At the same time or separately?
Separately, I mean, having like full-on kind of polyamorous relationships with them.
Okay. Yeah, it's important to be clear about whether it's together or separately.
Well, this is the thing. They were planning to have a threesome together, and then he finds out they're related.
They're like
It's mother-daughter.
Oh!
Wow. How did he meet them?
I don't know. He travels a lot, so
Wow.
I didn't get into the details.
Oh, he really did it.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say.
Maybe he could step things up a notch and go for the trifecta.
Yeah, he should. Did he? So did he end up going over to their house?
No, oh my God. And I don't even want to imagine that.
Mother, daughter, grandmother.
Wow. That's a pretty good story, though.
Yeah, that is good.
Maybe something for the listeners to aspire to.
So after they found out Vonny, did they both still keep banging him? Or did, the mother dip out, or what?
My journalism skills are so bad, I didn't even ask. I was kind of just like...
Let's get this guy on the show. Could we get him on?
Yeah, we should.
We'll ask the right questions for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, but seriously, if you want to get him on, and anyone's listening to this, and if you're that guy, reach out to us.
Or if you think you might be that guy.
Or
even if you're just really weird and have really weird stories, just hit us up.
Yes.
Oh, also, if you're Atina Mukama and you want to get on the show, hit us up. Vonny, Atina Mukama is this guy in Nigeria.
Yeah, I think somewhere in West Africa, I think.
Yeah, and he wrote in and told us to send him Asian girls. So he gave us his phone number, so we put it on several podcasts, but I don't know, he didn't tell us if anyone actually called him.
McConnell, can you give us a retelling of this in Tina Mukama's voice? So I want to experience what it was like.
We never actually heard what Tina Mukama sounds.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have to like read out the message as if you're him using his voice.
All right, maybe we'll do that on the next podcast. We can Martin can pull the message.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So anyway, so the mother-daughter experience. That's pretty wild.
Well, that came from one of my dinner guests because I am now hosting dinners for open-minded people. And it's very different from what I used to do because the play parties, super fun. And it was special. Like, you get a room full of beautiful people, open-minded, and they can be naked and do whatever they want, basically. But now I'm just bringing them together to connect them, and they can play, but it's not going to be at my space.
So you host the dinner.
I host the dinner, I prepare the food because I love doing it. I love feeding people. Like, food brings people together. And my network is still full of kinky, open-minded people.
Yeah, you spent years building up this network of wild people.
Okay, before we get into the dinner parties, which I definitely want to hear about the naked dinner parties. Before that, Kane asked you about, what was the weirdest or strangest or funniest or wackiest person who reached out to you after listening to the podcast?
Oh, off the top of my head, I can't really.
So what were the typical responses like then?
I think there were just people who wanted to learn more about the lifestyle and see if they could possibly join.
Uh-huh. So did you give them some feedback on how to create this kind of community that you've created for yourself?
Yeah, I always love talking about this stuff. So anytime anyone asks me, I dish out advice easily.
So tell us about the dinner parties then.
Yeah, they're not all naked dinner parties.
Because the food is too hot for that?
That could be dangerous.
They're just fun, casual dinners for like-minded people to get to know each other. Because I think, a lot of times you go out to a bar or you meet people through apps and they don't always follow through. You could be chatting with them forever and they don't actually want to meet up. There's trust issues. There's, you go to a bar and you don't know how to strike up a conversation with someone. But if you're in a curated space where everyone is here because they know me or they know someone and that's how they got invited, then it's easier to connect and everyone always has a great time.
Cool. So you said that you have these dinners and people can be naked sometimes.
Well, there is, it's all clothed dinners. I think you got mixed up earlier because I was talking about the play parties.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe I got mixed up.
And plus, you probably got definitely got mixed up thinking about.
There's so much kinky stuff going on in Vonny's life. Can't keep it straight.
Well, I am hosting a naked yoga dinner.
Naked yoga dinner.
So basically, one of my friends, she teaches yoga and she also teaches naked yoga. And I guess it's quite appealing to people who are open-minded and also to regular people too.
I like this mashup of very interesting, like lots of random stuff mashed together. Big fan.
So is it dinner and then naked and then yoga, or is it yoga then naked then dinner, or is there another
Really good
combination?
question because somebody asked me that too. They're like, do we stay naked throughout the dinner? Do we play after? That's the biggest question now. Everyone's like, is there going to be a play party after? Because they're so used to me doing that. I'm just like, no, there isn't. But you can arrange your own play if you want to by yourself,
Right, so it's kind of like
somewhere else.
like a take-home situation, maybe.
Exactly.
Right.
And you probably will meet other people at my events that would be open to that. And if you connect with them, great. There's also party hosts coming to my events, so you can meet a party host and get invited to a party.
Okay, cool. So you're just like a gateway. You're kind of like a matchmaker for all these people now.
Exactly. And I also have a matchmaking service connecting kinky, open-minded, polyamorous, whatever, swingers. I match people specifically to their tastes and exactly what they're looking for.
That's pretty good. You know, we always get people writing into, you know, this podcast and like various, you know, websites that we have, and they're always asking for a matchmaking service. So anyone who's listening to this and actually wants a matchmaking service, there you go.
It's pretty specific, the stuff I do. It could be a couple looking for another couple, or a single guy looking for a single girl. It could be a couple looking for a single guy, or a couple looking for a single girl.
What about a guy looking for a mother-daughter combination?
Oh my God. I'll have to dig hard in the little black book for that one.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So are you doing the matchmaking, you know, all over Asia, worldwide, like Pitbull, or is it?
My network is pretty wide. Like I've traveled a lot, I've met a lot of people and friends of friends. So I've actually matched people all over the world. Australia, Bali, Japan, Taiwan, Berlin, New York, LA, Hong Kong, Singapore.
Mrs. Worldwide.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. So you're doing these dinner parties. I guess there's like the yoga party. There's the matchmaking service. Well, what else do you have going on?
There's so much. I mean, I listen to people, what they want, and I just do it. I had a girl who taught a workshop on fire breath orgasm, and it was...
Could you explain that, please?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good thing.
No, I know. It sounds like a dragon blowing like fire. No, it's actually a breathing technique that women and men can use to breathe your body into a full body orgasm. But it's not, you don't touch yourself, so there's no like sexual clitoral, there's no stimulation down there. It's literally just breath work. So I did one of those. I had like 15 girls just on the floor on yoga mats, all breathing. It was beautiful. It was a symphony of oohs and ahs, and some of the girls had that full body orgasm. It doesn't always work every single time. It takes practice, but it was really great.
So did it work for you?
I didn't get to try it because, first of all, the event was like it was sold out. So I had to give the spots to the girls. But also, I have my little chihuahua. So I was like holding her the whole time, being like, oh my God, please don't bark. You know, I was keeping her quiet the whole time. But now, if I have those kind of events, I'll send the dog to like boarding for the night.
Okay. So are you going to have another fire breathing?
Yeah.
Orgasm.
I mean, it's a sensitive time to have any kind of event right now. To have an event where, 15 people are breathing heavily in the same room, it's not going to work right now. It's going to have to be after this is all over. But definitely, I want to do it more.
Well, maybe now you have an excuse to do it outside.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe doing it like at a park, and then we all lay 2 meters apart from each other.
Or maybe on a rooftop. There should be some decent rooftops in Singapore.
It's also it's an intimate thing, right? If you're experiencing an orgasm, you want to be in a safe, private space. But I am having a BDSM themed all girls dinner dress up party. And that happened because one of my girlfriends slash client, whatever, she was like, well, I've never dressed up like this before, and I've always wanted to. Can we have a party that's just for girls where we get to dress up like super kinky and BDSM style? So that's happening.
Nice. That should be fun.
Yeah.
So are you going to have like everyone gets to vote on who's wearing their favorite, thing, and then the winner
I
Gets
think
a
well, it's
bet your
gonna be
best stud for a night.
well, you know, yeah, that would have to be for the future, I think. But I do have a special guest speaker. She is a professional dominatrix. So she's gonna be here to like answer any question and just tell us and give us insight on the BDSM world.
Oh, very cool.
Is that event already sold out?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to sell out events now when you can only have 10 people.
Oh yeah, right.
So are you holding events more often because people don't have anything to do?
I hold them more often because I need to. I mean, the amount of money that you can make from a 10-person event isn't as good as a 20-person event, and the effort is the same. So after this weekend, I'm actually gonna take a break. Because yeah, it's not really worth doing such small events, and it's getting difficult because everyone feels like staying at home is the best thing to contain the spread.
Right. Okay, so one of the reasons we got you on here is because there's a rumor going around that you're monogamous now.
I am.
So
This was
tell us about
totally
that.
unexpected. I mean, I'm the play party queen.
We know.
It's a shock even to me.
Apparently, the entire internet knows.
Um, Basically, what happened was I met my husband in Bali, and we started talking. 2 weeks later, I was in Hong Kong to organize a party, and we got on really well. Um, he, yeah, he was great, and
So, can you give us some more detail about how you met him in Bali?
so one of his friends knew me, and we were in a group of like 5 people going on holiday there, and he was like, oh, you have to meet my friend, he's staying at this huge villa, blah blah blah. And I was kind of like, you know what, I'm pretty happy with my little group of friends. I don't really want to meet anyone new right now. um so I kind of, you know wasn't too keen. And it was only at the end of the day, like super late at night, after we had spent the whole day at a beach club, where I was like, okay, I guess we can go check this guy's place out. And we arrived at the villa. It was fucking huge. I was like, wait, we just came out of a hotel. Is this another hotel? So it was really nice. But yeah.
And then you were introduced to him, and so it was just you were with your whole crew, and he was also there.
Yeah, exactly. He was there. I was with my friends. And I
Was this a play party situation, or was this just a hang out, have drinks situation?
definitely not. It was just a hang out, have drink situation. I did jump on him in the pool, and I was like totally ready to like go all the way with him.
Uh-huh.
So you were the one leading the interaction forward.
Yes, but I like that.
Yeah.
We remember
Yeah.
from
We
from
we
your-
know you're a girl who likes to be in charge.
I like being the hunter. And if he had come on to me, I wouldn't have enjoyed it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you love the hunt.
You know what's crazy? I did not sleep with him that night.
Oh, okay. Why not? I mean, you jumped on him in the pool, and then
So this is funny.
there was an earthquake or something.
No, but I had some friends with me who are much younger than me, and for some reason, I just thought I had to like be a good role model to them, and also, yeah, I felt like they were watching me, and that I should do the right thing, and the right thing at that moment, with so many people around, and it being this casual, just drinks kind of chill night, I just didn't feel like the right thing to do to start fucking in front of your friends. If it was a play party, yeah, sure. That's what they expect. But if you're just going there to have drinks and hang out, it's kind of rude to just start fucking.
Right. But I mean, you could have, since the place was really big, I mean, you could have taken him around into the corner or something.
Oh, but still, it's like your friends are there having drinks and wanting your company, and, you know.
I see. So just as a point of etiquette, you felt
It was.
you didn't want your friends to feel like you were abandoning them for a hot hunk of man.
Exactly. And also, I don't know. I was thinking like, maybe I like this guy almost enough to want to wait a bit. Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in those rules, but
Guys always get confused when girls say that sort of thing. They're like, I really like him, so I thought we should take it slow. And the guys were like, wait, huh? Wait a minute. Shouldn't it be the other way around?
well, everyone has their own idea of what's right or wrong, and how to play the game. Um, I wasn't playing a game. I was just I just didn't want to be rude.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, in our household, everyone is here, and sometimes they have girls over, and it is kind of funny if we're all sitting around talking, and then somebody or some couple just kind of disappears for a while. But it does happen a lot.
Yeah, and I think it's fine because you guys have that understanding, and it's chill. And I could have done it too, but my friends might have felt left out, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, you could have invited them. Oh, you mean? You mean? Oh, right. Sorry.
Could have. But I did.
So then what happened? So you had this dinner party with this guy, and you were like, "Oh, I really like this guy." So
Well, I
You
got his
decided to
number,
follow up?
and so I went back to my villa with my friends that night, and the next day, this is pretty funny. He texted me and he's like, "Come over to the villa for breakfast. Let's hang out again." And I was being a princess, and I basically said, "Well, I could come over, but only if you prepare buttery French croissants, smashed avocado, strawberry whipped cream, Nutella, and what else did I ask for? Crepes."
Oh shit! I didn't know we had Princess Lang on the podcast.
Queen.
Sorry. Right.
No, I like to say goddess, actually.
Yeah.
Worship me. So basically, I told him that, and then I slipped in like, or something similar. And the crazy part is he actually went and got all of that stuff.
that is crazy.
That
I was mind blown, and I was just like, what? This guy actually did it.
So what would you have done if he didn't?
Um, I would have enjoyed what was prepared by the villa staff. Because they always have nice breakfast anyway. Scrambled eggs, bacon, toast, butter, you know.
that's like a serious Christian Grey situation.
I mean, I'm not that spoiled, I'm not actually a bitch. I wouldn't have been like, what? You didn't, get all the stuff I asked for. No. But those were the things that I was craving, so.
And then once he did it, you were craving him too.
Exactly. And that's the secret. Like, guys think, oh, if I do all that, then I'm just like pussy whipped. But no, I think we actually appreciate it, and you get rewarded.
Well, I think there's this kind of trend recently where guys think that they need to, like assert their independence and that they, aren't going to supplicate to girls, and they think they're like getting one off just by like, like refusing to do things for girls. And one of the things we often have to tell our clients is like, look, it depends on how much you really like this girl. If it's a girl you don't really like that much, then yeah, you shouldn't be putting in a lot of effort on a girl you don't really like. But if you really like her and she's like really the type of girl you want to date, then, yeah, you should definitely be trying pretty hard to get her, because if you're not trying, there's a lot of other guys who are going to be trying. So
Yeah, and I think it's ego in the end. Like if you can put your ego aside.
Yeah, I think that there's another to piggyback on that and what McConnell said also. Yeah, I really do think there's this quite negative trend around, this idea that, you're a chump if you like do stuff for girls. But one of the things I try to communicate to guys is that when you do nice things for people, the fact that you can do it and not care about what you get back is a sign of being someone who really, I guess, I don't really like this term that much, but lives in abundance. But what I mean is that, you have so much going on for you, so many good things happening in your life, that sharing a little bit of that with somebody else doesn't bother you at all. And you're not thinking about, what you're getting for it or if it's worth it, because it doesn't matter because you already have so much.
Exactly. And you get what you give. And also look at her reaction. Is she grateful for it? Or is she truly just a spoiled bitch? I mean, if it's the latter, then at least you learn from that and just move on from it.
So how did you show your appreciation?
Well, I still didn't give in. But it's a bit complicated. I was actually in Bali that week, and I had already made plans to see this other guy that, I mean, it was just a friend that I was staying with, but still, like, my stuff was at his place, so I had to leave anyway. So I couldn't really, like, it would have been rude to ditch my friend and be like, oh, guess what, I met this new guy. So I did a lot of things just out of courtesy.
you're so considerate. Such a good role model, thinking about everyone's feelings.
Yeah. I mean, he was nice enough to like let me stay at his villa. I had my own room. It was just a stunning villa and my luggage was there. So anyway, I went to my friend's place, kept in touch with my future husband, and saw him in Hong Kong 2 weeks later. We had a phone call like the day before he returned to Hong Kong because something happened to me in Hong Kong and I was like stressing out. But we chatted on the phone and realized like, we get along really well. Like we could have a full hour-long conversation. And then pretty much 20 minutes after entering his house, we were fucking like bunnies.
So that was
Finally.
the first time that you finally got a taste.
Yeah. And it was amazing.
Well, she got a taste of that breakfast. It's a very different kind of taste, though.
She was like, well, if all I get from this guy is breakfast, it'll still be worth it.
No, I mean, he was nice enough to let me stay at his place. And he was like, how long are you going to stay? And I was like, oh, don't worry. I didn't want to tell him that I was actually in Hong Kong for, I think it was like over a week or something. I didn't want to tell him it was a full week I was going to be staying at his place. But I just said, you know what, if you get sick of me, like if we want to kill each other, then I will move somewhere else. But, each night that I can stay with him, that's like saving me $200-300 in hotel.
So pragmatic.
So I stayed with him and I never moved out.
Oh, so you just stayed in Hong Kong?
Basically, I mean, I was a gypsy at this time. So I had my stuff half in Singapore, half in Bangkok. And I was basically homeless. And I think at some point I made a joke about moving in. And he said yes.
Oh, all right. Oh, yeah. I think I saw someone sent me your Instagram story about that, I think.
Yeah.
And then how did you get from there? Because I mean, it's not like this is the first guy you've lived with. So how did you get from living together
I
to
want to
marriage?
talk about the parties for a second. So what happened was 2 weeks after I started dating him, I was actually back in Singapore or Bangkok. I can't remember. I was on the phone with him and I said, "Okay, so we're dating now. Does that mean we're gonna be monogamous? Because I can't do that. I can't be monogamous. I need to do my parties. I need to have freedom to fuck who I want. I need all of that because I learned previously that if I try to change who I am for someone, it's not gonna work out."
Hmm.
And he's never, at that point, he never dabbled in any of this stuff. And he was wanting to be in a monogamous, serious relationship with me.
Hmm.
And I was kind of like, no, I can't do that. And I risked everything, you know? He could have said, okay, well, that's not for me, bye. And it was scary. But luckily, he's open minded enough to say, yes, let's give it a try.
Hmm.
Which was amazing because I stayed true to myself and I still ended up getting what I wanted. And he eventually got what he wanted from the beginning. Because we started going to my parties together. And after, I don't even know, like 10 parties or something, I mean, we tried everything. And I just saw myself less and less interested in my own parties. I mean, everyone else was having fun, but I mean, you run your own businesses too. Like, you have to do what you're passionate about. And I just wasn't passionate anymore. It was a business, it made me good money. It made me happy to see everyone having fun, but it wasn't for me anymore. I would look around the room and think, my husband is the sexiest man to me. Like, I don't have the urge to play anymore. And I used to, and it was really fun. So,
So it was just kind of a thing that naturally happened where you just lost interest.
And
yes, gradually. I mean, it was, like I said, like 10 parties later, and I was having parties like 2, 3 times a month in different cities in the region.
hmm.
So I guess after like 3 months or something, and you know, I used to meet a lot of guys on Tinder who were attracted to my profile, who were coming to the parties, and I think they were like really good quality guys. You know, my Tinder profile was looking for playmates and possibly a soulmate. So it
Hmm.
wasn't just, you know, guys looking for fun. It was like serious guys that wanted to find their soulmates too. And yeah,
Hmm.
so I was bringing in like really good quality guys, but I and when we first started dating, I would be sitting next to my boyfriend, on the sofa, and I'd be swiping on Tinder or like chatting to guys, and yeah, it did. I mean, I did it because it was my work, it was my passion, I enjoyed it, but it got to a point where I was just like, I'm not really happy doing this anymore.
So I've got a question. What about for him? When you were like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. Was he like, whoa, wait a minute?
And I just started enjoying this. No, for him, he was never really into it. I mean, he is super picky when it comes to girls. I mean, he would come to the parties and also kind of be like, yeah, I just want to fuck you.
So was he? Did he ever get like jealous or like have any? Did you guys have like conflicts over him being at the parties with you, or anything around that?
The very first party we ever went to, I played with a guy that I was like extremely attracted to. He was like a regular play partner of mine, and my boyfriend did feel jealousy at that time. But you know, it was a whole new world to him. He'd never done this before. And me, I was dating swingers for the past few relationships. So I kind of just kept doing the same thing I always did. I thought he was just gonna jump into it and have fun. and I wasn't really considerate about his feelings. So I had to learn.
Well, you did warn him.
That's true.
I mean, he knew from day one
Right,
what I
exactly.
did.
Right. Yeah. So he signed up. So
Um, but yeah, he knew what he was getting himself into. But he didn't know. He probably didn't know that he was gonna feel those feelings of jealousy.
and so how did you guys deal with that?
Um, we well, I mean, we went home with each other that night. We talked about it, and he realized that, I'm going home with him. He's the one that I want to be with and forever. And there's there's this whole thing about jealousy and grief and sadness and anger, like all these quote unquote negative emotions. People try to avoid them so much, like the plague, but actually, you should feel these things. It's part of human nature to feel negative emotions.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You have to learn how to deal with them, not avoid having them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so he recognized, and as I've recognized for a long time, that jealousy is a healthy feeling and it's a sign. It shows you that you really care about the person you're with. That's why you're jealous of them being with someone else sexually. So, yeah, we worked through that. And he actually wrote a poem about it. It's so funny.
Oh,
Did he read it at the wedding?
I didn't have my wedding yet, thanks to the virus.
oh yeah.
Oh,
That
when was it
sucks.
supposed to be?
Well, it was supposed to be end of May in Bali.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, because it's just, yeah, it's not gonna happen. We rescheduled it for September, but I could read the poem to you if you want. I'll have to change the name.
Sure, why not?
Yeah,
Let's
well,
hear
let's
it.
do it.
I'm sure if we don't, then lots of people will
Yeah.
write in saying, "Hey, I want to
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
what the
This is
poem
the first
was."
time we've ever had a poem read on the show.
So I'm
Yeah.
changing the name of the guy to Steven.
Okay, all right. His name isn't Steven, but we're going to call him Steven.
Steven who likes to fuck my wife. So there I sat that Friday night. In front of me, quite small in height, was the man we like to call Steven who likes to fuck my wife. It's not as though I knew him well. He shook my hand but didn't dwell. He had other things to think about, like stuffing my missus like a trout. He led my angel by the hand into the bedroom area. I watched the scene in front of me, as enjoyable as malaria. I took a peek from round the door, and they were getting busy. She had his cock inside her mouth, and it made me kind of queasy. I sat back down upon my seat and pondered life a bit. I wondered what 'twas all about, and felt a little shit. They finished up and sat back down direct in front of me. They whispered to each other's ear, and she played with his knee. After a while, she came to me and sat down on my lap. I asked if he had made her come or squirting like a tap. She told me it was all okay, and really, it was all just play. I said that it was fine to stray, but are you sure that dude ain't gay? I wasn't really bothered. She'd obviously enjoyed. I said to her he is no threat, 'cause he's so damn effeminate. He calls him short in this poem, but the guy is like 6 feet tall at least.
Oh wow.
He does have like kind of, I don't know, I want to say gay vibes, but yeah, I guess he's very metro. He's got that kind of metro vibe. Like his hair's always perfect, kind of like Johnny Bravo perfect. I don't know.
I get the sense that a lot of guys who are really active in the swinging community, at least in the Western swinging community, like not Japan, I think a lot of them, they have like so much emphasis on their appearance because it's like a performance in a lot of ways. They know they're going to be like naked in front of a lot of people. So I think there's like that aspect.
I mean, even with you, right? You're so stylish. You teach guys how to dress well.
Yeah.
Do you ever get that comment that people think you might be gay?
In America, people used to say that, but since I moved to Asia, no one thinks that because, Asian, like lots of straight Asian guys dress really well. So,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's not this sense that if you're not wearing an oversized hoodie that you are that you're gay. It seems to be the way it works in America. You have to wear an oversized hoodie to prove that you like to bang girls.
yeah. But yeah, that poem was pretty funny. That was quite creative, actually.
Like,
I
he has
enjoyed that.
like 20 poems about all the weird things that he's endured with me.
You could publish a book,
Yeah, you could.
a collection.
Yeah.
So how old is how tall is your husband?
Oh my god, he looks like Superman. He's like seriously, he's super I think he's 6'3", and he's just built like a truck. I mean, he's strong. He has a six-pack, huge muscles. Just think super.
So for him, this other guy was short.
Yeah, this other guy, I mean, in comparison to my husband, every guy is a dweeb. But this guy, he was an athlete too. Had a six-pack and everything, was tall, handsome. But in comparison, again, like, just a bit smaller, like 2 inches shorter maybe, not as buff. But my husband's a gym rat. He used to be a personal trainer, and he just trains every day. And he's made out of chicken breast, full of protein.
Well, I guess that means it's easy to prepare dinner.
I just make the same thing every day, basically.
Oh, all right. Well, another win for the lazy woman.
Efficient.
Yeah, efficiency.
Okay, so then every time you guys went to one of these play parties, he would write another poem.
No. He would write poems when he was inspired. He has a poem about me and how I ended up living with him.
Now, if you have any other poems, I'm sure our audience would love to read them. So if we could post them somewhere,
I can send them to you. Maybe. I mean, there's a really short one, pretty much about how we met and how we. Oh, it's really nice. It actually, I think he just gets me, and this poem shows how much he gets me and how I ended up with him.
Okay.
I'll read it if you want. It's a short.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
Go for
definitely. I mean, let's bring some culture to our audience.
My porcelain doll. There was something about her that struck me, and wasn't just whether she'd fuck me. She told me she traveled the globe and was currently without an abode. This caught my attention at first, and I sensed that she could be coerced into pulling up anchor with me, as my love life was currently free. I hadn't expected to find a creature so cat-like yet kind. She took off her knickers and sat like a porcelain doll on a mat. So focused was she on her work that I couldn't help starting to smirk at this wonderful creature so rare, who seemed to live life without care of conventions and rules that we follow that make life so dreadfully hollow. She didn't conform to the norm and perceived those that did with some scorn. Why on earth would you follow a herd when it's clear you can fly like a bird?
All right.
Yeah.
Although I think I like the first one better, not because of more because of the content. I'm not evaluating the poetic.
Yeah, of
here.
course.
Yeah.
But this is like, to me, this just shows how much he understands me.
How long after he met you did he write that?
I don't know. There was a week where he was just like churning them out. Actually, this one is more. This is another short one, and it has to do with the parties. So
Okay.
I'll read it. It'll take like a
All right.
minute. My party queen. I organize parties. I said that's just fine. I like a good shindig, as most are benign. She said mine are different, and I asked her how so. She told me the details, and I was excited to go. The concept was open in so many ways. I thought I was worldly, my sex life ablaze. She told me the details, my mouth hit the floor. and most would have freaked out and run for the door. There was pussy and DP and fucking galore, with threesomes and foursomes and even much more. Some positions I'd heard of and some were brand new, and all that was needed was a hard-on to screw.
That's really good.
That's good.
I think that's maybe my favorite one so far. That's really good. Wow. So you got Superman. He writes poetry. He gets exactly what you want for breakfast.
Oh my God. No, seriously, I sometimes think that it's just all too good to be true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you on the negative side, it's chicken breast every night, right? So there's
Yeah.
Well, I don't eat the chicken. I'm actually more vegetarian these days.
So you cooked separately for the two of you.
Well, we eat really healthy, so we have salads every night, but it's really just loaded with good stuff. There's always like 10, 15 different things in our salad. So it actually tastes a little bit different every day too, because I'll mix it up with other stuff. So his portion will have the chicken on top of it.
So the real question is it a tossed salad?
That's the most common salad that I have for sure, and I normally eat it in my bedroom because I think my roommates would be a little bit unhappy if I had it at the dining table.
Wow. What a domestic life you're living. You've got the Chihuahua, you've got these, healthy dinners with Superman.
Yeah.
He was writing these poems like really regularly when you guys first. So was that a new thing for him, or is that one of his standard moves?
No, it was a new thing.
Oh, you inspired a man to poetry.
Vonny the Muse.
Oh, well, he has this whole collection of he calls it the weirdness of my life. It's basically weird stuff that he has seen or experienced since he met me.
It's good to hear that he's compartmentalizing all of that.
Thing is, people usually think that about us when they start hanging out with us, but then the longer they hang out with us, the more weird they become. So then it's not weird anymore.
Actually, Red Paul Q one time said something to me which I thought was very accurate and hilarious. So, McConnell, do you know the Wheel of Time?
Yeah.
So there's a particular special type of person in that called a Tavarian, I think it is, and they attract like certain types of people towards them.
This is a fantasy book series, by the way. For
right, it used to be really popular in the 90s. Like everybody on the train would read it before smartphones.
There's actually a TV show of it coming out, but anyway. So I think the word for it was Tavarian, and
or Tavarin, something like that. I always pronounce it Tavarin, but it was who knows.
So yeah, basically these people would attract, I think, people of power to them, or people of a certain quality. And Red Paul Q is saying that he feels like he's like this, but with weird people.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at the attendance on this podcast right now.
Yeah.
And wait till we get the dude on here.
Are you referring to the mother-daughter threesome dude?
Oh,
no.
Well,
this guy, his nickname is actually the Dude. That's what we call him. And he's a friend of ours in Japan, and
right.
he is he is just really wacky.
Right.
I like weird people.
He invited Martin to a pussy licking contest.
That's right.
In Japan.
Please tell me you went.
I did go. I didn't compete, but I did attend. And I was invited to compete, but I wasn't in town when it was happening. And I'm not really sure if I want to be in a pussy licking contest. Like, if I knew I could win, I would definitely want to do it. Because I want to have the trophy.
Yeah, we know you want to go for the gold.
but I'm not really. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I mean, it's possible I would do it at some point, but yeah.
Yeah, but the winner, tell them who the winner was.
Yeah, the winner was a girl. Yeah, a girl won.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
So in your experience, women do it better?
No, but in general, women have a higher chance of doing it better naturally if they're untrained because women have softer lips and they tend to be more gentle
Mm,
even with
Right,
their
right.
kisses.
Yeah. I guess a lot of girls will say that if you ask them who kisses better, men or women, they usually say it's more exciting to kiss men, but women like they do it more gently and softly, and so it kind of feels better.
Because I mean, with the clit is just it's such a small, sensitive area, and it actually feels really good when you just lick it with like a very feather light touch.
Spoken like a true connoisseur. So yeah, what is there? So what else? Is there anything else you specifically want to talk about, like or share with us, Vonny?
About your new lifestyle.
Yeah.
Just the fact that I'm still making sex positive events, but it's more broad now because it's not just for swingers. It's not just for people who want to fuck in front of other people. It's for anyone who is interested in anything that's related to sex.
Cool.
So does this mean that more of our audience should contact you?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
I am reaching a broader audience now.
Yeah. Open-minded people, yoga enthusiasts,
Naked-
dinner enthusiasts.
Right, nudists.
Yeah.
Anyone who's interested in sex positivity.
Cool. Well,
All
that
right.
sounds good.
So how long have you been with your husband?
Superman.
It's been really not long at all.
Oh, I mean, we have a friend. I mean, he got married and had a kid within a year of meeting
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
wife. So you're not moving that fast.
When you know, you know. And when you're desperate, you know. No other man in the world wants to marry you. You just know.
Right.
And my husband's 41, so he's pretty. He's tired. He's too tired to go out there and date anymore.
He's like, this is the last breakfast I'm sourcing like this.
Yeah, no, but I think we just are really perfect for each other, as cheesy as that sounds. We have both dated enough and gone through enough shitty relationships to realize this is the real deal.
Nice. Well, it sounds like you're pretty satisfied. Queen Vonny got exactly what she wanted.
Yes, I'm happy.
Great. Yeah, that sounds good.
It's not like fireworks and butterflies in the stomach. It's just a very peaceful, easy feeling.
Plus poems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have any more questions for Vonny?
I don't personally, but I'm sure the viewers are going to have questions.
Oh yeah. So maybe we're gonna have to get you on for a
Yeah.
part 2 to answer questions from.
Wait, so this is only the
listen-
second time I've been on your show?
The second one that pretty much.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay. Sure.
Oh,
What have you learnt about yourself since entering this new relationship with him?
First of all, that I am not a swinger, which is pretty big news for me. Oh my God, I've learned that I have absolutely no manners. Because my husband's very British. So, he's always like, "Good morning, darling. How was your sleep? How was your day?" And he says thank you and please and I have absolutely no manners.
As Vision would say, that's hardcore.
I wake up and I'm just a zombie. Barely can't talk to anyone. Saying good morning to someone is like the last thing I think about. um, what else?
So have you started to change, or did he just have to get used to that?
I think he just has to get used to it. I mean, I'm trying. I think I am trying to be a better person because I do see that it's a lack of manners and it's good. Like I should yeah, I could be a better person. Um what else? I mean, a lot has changed for me. I'm not flying all over the world like I used to. I'm so much more settled and rooted and grounded now. And I'm also thinking about all these things that people who were older than me used to tell me. And I used to, because I've always been a bit of a rebel. And I don't believe in conformity. I believe in making your own path and, not doing things just because everybody else is doing it. So this whole idea of getting a job, getting a house, getting married, having kids, that wasn't for me because I just always wanted to do things my way. And I thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna be a gypsy, I'm gonna travel the world, I'm gonna see so much. But you know what? That shit is tiring. Like, yeah, sure, I was traveling and fucking guys everywhere and like having a grand old time and secretly hoping that one of them was gonna want to settle down with me, but it's impossible to make any real lasting relationships from that.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I often have to tell the guys because, a lot of them, as they develop in their careers, they end up traveling more. And they always think this means that, this will be really interesting and exciting for girls they're dating. But actually, it creates a lot of problems mostly.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's gonna say, well, this is my life, to each his own, like, but honestly, right now, I'm the happiest I've ever been. And my life from the outside looks freaking boring. I mean, I'm here in Singapore. I don't travel much. I'm home. I cook. I'm domesticated. I hold my events. I do
Yeah.
I'm still working. I still do everything, but I'm so grounded and rooted right now. And my former self used to kind of look down at this. I used to look at my friends who had kids and were settled, and I used to think, wow, their lives are so boring. I don't want that.
One of my high school English teachers used to say, you never know what's going to make your future self happy, and it'll often surprise you.
Oh my God.
And, yeah.
Yeah, and another thing is you never know until you get there. You never
Yeah.
you don't know anything basically. You really don't. And even as I'm saying now, like, okay, I'm monogamous, I'm happy, who knows? Who knows like what's gonna happen 10, 20 years down the line? I don't know. But I have to say,
Well, we'll make a podcast about it. I can tell you that much.
I have to say this, like when I look at my friends who are settled and the ones that I thought were having all boring lives, like I admire them because they have a strong foundation, they have something that they've built for many years that's stable and loving and caring, and it's a deep relationship because it's been that way for so long. So yeah, that's what I want, and that's what I have now.
Yeah, and for guys listening, I think there's nothing wrong being a guy and wanting stability in relationship. I think especially in the pickup community, there's lots of guys who are like, all I want to do is just fuck bitches, and that's I'm never gonna get married, I'm never gonna settle down.
Or there's people who are like,
That was me.
getting married is a terrible idea. Your women will ruin your life.
Yeah,
You won't be able to have sex with anybody else. There's no way you could be happy. You're going to be stuck with her forever.
Yeah. But I think, you got to have a more balanced view than either of those things,
Well, the question is then, those people saying those things, are you happy? Like, are you happy fucking all these girls? Is that making you happy to be so free to do all those things? Like, if that makes you happy, then great. But I think a lot of those people are actually searching.
Yeah, for sure. I
And
mean, we've seen so many guys who they come in and they learn, the skills to meet and date the girls they want, and they end up just like, burning themselves out on it because they're just like, it's just like always new girls, and like, it's really a grind. It becomes a grind for them. And then they just disappear, and who knows what ends up happening to those guys, but they probably would have been a lot happier if they figured out how to have a more stable and balanced life.
Oh man, it's not just guys. It's girls too. Everybody does it. It's like
Yeah,
they use people to kind of be a placeholder. Like,
sure, yeah.
here, I'm gonna
so
fuck all of you until I find the one. Or
so you think that up until now the real issue wasn't that much that you were interested in the lifestyle, but more that you didn't find someone that you liked enough?
yeah, exactly. That I liked enough and that I was so perfectly compatible with.
But let's say if you met this guy, let's say 5 years ago, or
Probably wouldn't have worked because we were both different people 5 years ago. He was a different person, I was a different person. In fact, he was a dickhead before I met him. Like he had to
How do
go.
you arrive at that?
He told me himself. His reputation was that he wasn't a very nice guy. And we were both at very different places in our lives before. And if we had met 5 years ago, it wouldn't have worked.
so do you think that you could have met someone 5 years ago that you would have wanted to settle down with, or do you think that you weren't ready to be the person you needed to be for that to happen?
Yeah, I definitely wasn't. Like, I think you need to have your shit together. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a millionaire or like super successful, but you have.
Or 6'3" with looking like Superman. You don't have to be like that.
No.
With a humongous villa that looks like it's its own hotel when you're on vacation by yourself. You don't need that stuff.
And
No,
thank God.
it's about being it's about being whole and complete. And you can have that without all of these things. I mean, it's about being confident, knowing what your values are, and living according to those values, and being proud of who you are and what you're doing, and be happy. Because a lot of people, I think they try to find a partner to fill the void, and you need to be full and complete first. Yeah. So that happened for me right before I met him. I was at the top of my game, I had my business was going really well. I felt super happy and independent. And even though I was looking for someone, I was happy being alone. And I knew that if I didn't find this person, it wasn't going to be the end of the world. Like, I was pretty happy. I knew what my next move was going to be. And that confidence attracted another person who was in the same place. He was also, looking for someone, but not desperate. And he was happy to be alone if he didn't find the right person.
Yeah, I do think, a little bit contrary to what I was saying before, I do think that for most people, dating around and having a lot of sex and experiencing that and having it as a part of your life for a while is a really important part of, developing as a person.
Of course.
Because it helps teach you, what you like, what you don't like, and really it helps make sure that future relationships run very smoothly.
It helps you find a lot of your weaknesses.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. And I had to go through all of that to be who I am today and to be the person I was when I met my husband.
So if you could go back in time and tell, give yourself some advice, maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago, Is there any advice you would give yourself, or would you just be like, you go, girl?
Um, you know what? The thing is, a lot of lessons have to be learned through experience. So even if somebody told me, and people had, they told me all these things. They were like, oh, you need to focus on yourself, love yourself, blah, 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 get your shit together. They told me all these things and I never believed them. I never listened to them. I had to go through hell basically to figure all that shit out myself. And I have all these friends that that I try to give advice to, and I just watch them like making horrible mistakes, and it's painful to watch, but sometimes people just have to learn.
Yeah, that's just part of growing up.
Yeah, but basically, I think the best advice is be true to yourself, be genuine, know your values, live by your values, and don't compromise for other people. Like, if you ever make any compromises, you should do it with your whole heart. Like, it should feel good. Don't do things that don't feel good.
So do you think that with your husband now, when you first started seeing him, if you'd said, oh, I really want this to work, so I'm just gonna tell him that I'll do monogamy and I'll try to be monogamous.
Oh, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, it would have wrecked itself. That's what I was gonna ask you.
It would have totally, I mean, that is not healthy, because that's me not being true to myself. That's me just changing myself to fit someone else's expectations of what a relationship and what a girlfriend should be. And I wouldn't have been true to myself. Instead, I insisted on doing things the way I wanted, and I didn't force him into it. I was just like, this is how I am. Like, are you okay with trying this out? And he said yes. And we tried it, and it was fun. We had a lot of fun trying it. We played with couples. We played with another girl. It was all nice, fun, good memories.
Yes, I feel very similarly. A lot of people think that I'm against monogamy, and I'm really not against monogamy. I'm kind of against, at least for myself, I'm against agreeing or promising monogamy, because I think that if I want to be monogamous, then it's something that's going to naturally happen where I just won't be interested in anybody else. And I feel like when you promise it, the fact you have to promise it means that you don't really want to do it. And once you've promised it, it's made it, even more like a big thing that's like, oh, there's this thing I can't do. That would be so exciting. Whereas if you have the freedom to do it and then you just realize, hey, you know what? I don't actually want to, even though I can, then it seems like that to me is a lot more lasting.
That's the best way. And from the beginning, I have to say my husband now, but when we were dating, when we were boyfriend, girlfriend, he basically gave me all the freedom. I mean, oh my God, it was summertime. My friends were in Ibiza, and they basically invited me to go on holiday with them. It was a girl's birthday, and they had, it was going to be parties, and it was my swinger friends. So it was going to be like sex parties. and, and I was like, oh my God, I've always wanted to go. Like, it sounds like so much fun. And he was like, go have fun. But all I wanted to do was spend time with him. So he gave me the choice, and every time I chose him. And I have no regrets, because I chose him, and in my mind I was thinking, you know what? I want to go to those places with you. Not by myself, not to meet a bunch of party people. Like, I want to go with you. And we ended up going to London. We went to Barcelona, which was amazing. So that's, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So early on, McConnell, he gave that quote from his teacher about
I'm sure
being
she didn't
surprised.
foresee it being applied in this scenario, but
about being being surprised with what makes your future self happy. I think McConnell would be pretty surprised to see what is making what's made his future self happy. And I bet Kane would be surprised too.
Yeah.
And you too, actually.
I don't know if I'm happy. I might be surprised at what my future self is doing, but I don't think that's different.
Sure. All right. Well,
Kane, do you have that was a great question that
Yeah.
you brought up. Do you have some other questions? Some top shelf.
Not really. I mean, I think any other questions I have aren't as good as that one.
Right. Better quit while you're ahead.
yeah.
It's a good thing I didn't think that about my first girlfriend.
Oh, fair enough.
All right. Well, so Vonny, how should people reach you? Actually, you know what? I guess if people have questions, you should send them to us, and then we'll bring Vonny back on.
Yes.
And I presume, and then we can bring her back on, and we can have her answer all those questions. And then I guess if
you want to get match made,
Yeah.
or you
What do
want
they-
to go to one of her new events,
although she's taking a break from those, so
yeah.
after
They can get on the mailing list for future events.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Where
Well,
do
we'll get
they-
a link from you, and we can put that in the show notes.
Oh yeah, perfect. Great. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us again, Vonny. It was also wacky.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Great discussion as always.
And
Anytime.
thanks, Kane also.
And that guy who had the mother-daughter threesome guy, hit us up.
Yeah, right.
You know how
can
to
send
reach
him-
us.
Yeah, you could send him on over, and he can give us the full story about how that all went down.
Yes.
Maybe we should have like a in the family special.
Oh God. Oh God.
Because I mean, we know at least one other person who, has kept it, in the family. So
Thanks again, guys. For everyone who's listening, if you go to our website, pickupasia.com, you can sign up for our mailing list as well. And we have a really great newsletter that we put out every 2 weeks.
yeah, every 2 weeks, and it always has the latest podcast episode in there. So that's one of the best ways to get known about that. I also write a little something every time to teach you a little of something that could help you, and share other great videos.
Articles, videos by me, Kane, and other people that maybe would interest you. So go sign up for that, and we will see you guys next time.
Oh, wait. And for those of you, a lot of you guys are staying home. If you want to do a call with about, so some of you guys have sent us in questions, and some of you guys want really more in-depth help. So if you do, then you can go and email us or send us a message, and you can sign up to do a call with me, Kane, or McConnell, and we'll work through your problem or whatever it is you're dealing with. So you can hit us up, and we can talk to you about how we would arrange that, because we do private calls with guys who have questions. So that's certainly doable.
Yep.
Okay, great. Bye-bye.
Thanks.